Greetings, Bath Warriors. Greetings. Greg is on again. We doing it here in Sedona, Arizona. Sedona, Arizona. I love how that rhymes. We are doing it here in Sedona, Arizona. What a day. What a day. Day 2 here in Sedona, Arizona. Started meeting up with a group of other beautiful souls at 6:30 at a place called Bell Rock. We rocked the bell. We definitely rocked the bell. Great energy coming through. I hope you all are doing wonderful. I had an incredible day spent reflecting, learning, expanding, connecting, contemplating, visualizing, growing, healing, manifesting. What did your day include? What did your day? What did you have going on with your day? That was a little taste of mine. So many incredible experiences today. I'm out here in Sedona, Arizona, attending a healing workshop. It's a 2-dayer, so jam-packed today. We're gonna wash, rinse, and repeat tomorrow. 6:30 a.m. hike, sunrise hike, getting up early, greeting grandfather's son as he comes over those red rock bluffs. So beautiful, so inspiring to be in the Sedona vortex for a healing experience. Very powerful stuff. A lot of focus today on inner child work. A lot of focus today on growing and expanding. Healing, right? It's all about healing. Intentional healing. It was really cool. A lot of people were very vulnerable. Will you be happy again? I guess that's an answer that you got to ask. Do you want to be happy again? Do you even believe in happiness? Who here believes in happiness? Happiness is fleeting. You want to be joyful, filled with joy, enthusiasm. Do you know enthusiasm means God filled or spirit filled enthusiasm? Happy is someone giving you a compliment, right? Maybe it lasts for about 30 seconds. It won't change your life. It won't change your life. Hulk Hogan. Thank you for the compliments. I love the celebrity references, man. Y'all don't realize how much I appreciate all the celebrity references. At some point, you're going to realize I'm the celebrity. And then you're going to be saying, those guys look like you, not you look like them. Oh, that'll be another level of transformation, huh? When you guys are trying to say, those guys look like you. It's coming. It's coming. Because we're not stopping. We are not going to stop until we get to where we're going. And where are we going? I guess that's the question. Where are we going? Where were you going today? What did you do with your day of life? I don't desire to be a celebrity. I just know that my calling is to be on the global stage, the global spotlight. And because I don't cower from my calling, I surrender to my calling. I'm definitely I'm built for this shit though, so it's all good. You're going to the movie soon. Nice. I talked last night about watching Minecraft as I see 444. That has an incredible storyline in terms of healing, right? I've never played the game. I took my son there. He's 16. He used to play that game a lot. But Oh, yay. A re-release. That doesn't sound that cool. But have fun, man. That sounds great. If that's what you love to do, go do it. If that's your favorite, go do it. Why not? I don't know. I don't know what else you could be doing with your life versus sitting there, right? Again, I'm someone that gets on here and says the average person out there right now um, could completely transform their life if they were willing to disconnect from the distractions, right? We find so much comfort in distraction that we don't even want to call it distraction. And yet it's interesting when you really start shining a light on people and saying, man, you're really distracted. Do you realize how distracted you are right now? And there's a reason for why you're so happy to be distracted is because it happened a few years ago during a pandemic thing where they took away everything, right? They took away so many distractions and people melted down. Mental breakdowns because you didn't have your sports, you didn't have your bars, your clubs, your gyms, your restaurants. I mean, everything got shut down and people melted the fuck down. And what's changed? Nothing. You got your stuff back, so now you're back to being distracted, and yet here I am shining the light shining the light back on you, saying you weren't supposed to go back to being distracted. It was time for you to work on yourself. This is serious stuff, right? It's serious, but it's fun because the reason why is it's the reason you're here on this planet. And a lot of people don't want to, there's a lot of people, influencers out there that only want to talk about the good things. Thank you for sharing the message. Greatly appreciate that, Nicole. Right? There's a lot of people that only want to share good things, right? They want to make everything sound like, oh, it's so great. It's so good. Just you can manifest in these 3 steps. Say these 3 things and you'll manifest your dream life. And it's like, if you do manifest something, then you're doomed to return back to where you began if you don't do the healing work. If you don't heal the emotions, you're limited by your emotional state of being. It's literally a limitation. It's like a governor on your life. Like you cannot outmaneuver the capacity that you have in this life when it comes to your emotional healing. And so most people that I talk to, most people that I work with, they've never worked on the emotional stuff. And yet you're limited. You might have some financial success, great. But underneath the surface, if you hate yourself, if the reason why you chased the bag was because you thought it would be a way for you to be seen, to be appreciated. A lot of people do this. A lot of people say, oh, if I go get this particular job, then people will accept me. People will think I'm important. People will think I'm really special. People will think I'm successful. And yet you did it for the bag. You didn't do it because it's something you're passionate. That's a great question. What should people do? What do you think people should do? What do you think is the most important thing that people should do right now? I talk about it all the time. I really say, what is your number one purpose? Not your only purpose, just your number one purpose. The priority purpose that you should have in your life is to become the best version of you. Reading is a part of that. Learning is a part of that. Healing is probably the biggest part of it, because the thing is that most of us, not all, most, even though it feels like all, most of us are carrying around some deep-seated emotional trauma. And again, if you don't ever deal with that emotional trauma, it doesn't go away. It doesn't go away. You're carrying it around. You're making the most out of your life, but you're filtering your reality through a thermostat that can't go any higher. And you're wondering why you're stuck. And this is why you're stuck. It's the reason why you're stuck is because you think you outgrew the things that happened to you as a kid that caused trauma in your life. And here's the thing, it doesn't go away, it doesn't get deleted. Time does not heal emotional wounds. It'll heal a little cut, a little boo boo on your finger, give it a kiss. It'll heal sickness, like if you're under the weather, but it won't heal emotional wounds. It never has, it never will. I'm glad to hear you're working on it. Well, yeah, the beautiful thing about healing, if you've healed your childhood trauma, when new stuff comes up, it shouldn't impact you. It's like you process it way faster. That it's not as impactful. And I think that's one of the areas where, as I'm seeing two twos, man, I'm seeing so many synchronicities here. The thing about it is, so I'm in this healing group today, and we were in a group, and this one lady said something that most of you have heard, right? She said something along the lines where healing isn't a destination. Like, healing is something that we do for our whole entire life. And she didn't like that I questioned her on that, because she related growth and healing to being the same. She's like, well, if you stop growing, then you stop healing. And I'm like, no, I don't agree with that. I think 10 years ago, it was a perpetual cycle of trying to heal. Like, you could spend your whole life healing, which, to me, if you're spending your whole life healing, you're not healing. You're still licking your wounds. There's an absolute difference between healing and growing, right? Healing and growing are not the same thing. Not what I'm talking about. Emotional healing is not growth. Growth is what happens on the other side of emotional healing. You emotionally heal first, and on the other side of that, who you are when you are not anchored down by your emotional trauma, that person is what stretches you and expands you into the new version of who you are, the new identity that you create for yourself, which is not rooted in past traumas from this life or previous lives. And so there is that belief that exists in this world that somehow healing is just something that, it's for the rest of your life. And her belief was spiritual, where she's like, well, if you heal everything, then you're not even going to be a human anymore. You'll be like a transcended light being floating on the air. And it's like, that's not true. I know that I have literally, I am not overstating this, I have healed 98, probably 98% of all of my trauma. 98%. Now, does that mean that in 5 minutes from now, something traumatic can happen to me? Yes, but when it's real time and I'm carrying around that much healing in me, it doesn't impact me how it used to because I no longer identify with the trauma. I can disconnect from it and say, okay, the trauma is really a problem that arises, a challenge. I stay in my body. I'm no longer sacrificing myself and identifying in challenging situations. And thus I just process it. I just process it and let it go. And yet the thing is, here's the shift. This is what I believe is a message that very few people are holding right now on this planet. Because I spent an entire day listening to a guy that has helped me along my healing journey, but there was some limits in what he was able to share. And that's not a hit on him. It's the fact that I believe that I am being given the decoded key to the mystery of healing, because I truly believe it is in the best interest. It is in the best interest of all humanity, all creation, the entire universe. It is absolutely in our best interest for humans to heal emotional trauma, completely heal before your end of life. Like, it's something that we are being given the gift. I believe I am one of the people on this planet. I say this unabashedly, unapologetically. I know I have been given the ingredients necessary to help facilitate healing, mentally, emotional, spiritual, and physical healing in the body of humans that have been exposed to a tremendous amount of trauma. I still go to therapy once a week. Talk therapy is a great thing, but talk therapy has never healed any of my emotional wounds. And yet I do believe it's in the best interest of all of us, of all humanity, of our evolution on this planet, for us to now be given a process, not a magic trick, not say this prayer, not go under the water and everything's good and you know it's not good. I tried that lots of times. I think I got baptized like at least 5 times, you guys. I was the guy. I should have been the guy the last time I got baptized. I should have been the guy that had like the black ink. Have you ever seen that gag? where, where they go under and it's like a little ink bomb that like turns the water all black. That shit cracks me up, man. I got that dark sarcasm. It's funny. But it didn't heal my trauma. And I was all in, pure heart, pure mind. Okay, Jesus, okay, like I'm all in. I'm all in, man. Let's wipe the slate clean. It didn't clean the slate. I didn't get the clean slate, and neither will you. I promise you. I know this because I have the purest of intentions. All I wanted was real results. That's it. Plain and simple. I just wanted to trust myself. I just wanted to feel like I wasn't powerless towards my triggers. Right? I just wanted to trust myself, man, in any situation, right? To really know that I was free. People feed off knowing humanity when it's a gift. Yeah. That's kind of profound. I'm not even sure if I'm fully understanding that expression, Starry Night. People feed off humanity. But yet, I got asked the question I get asked a lot. Because when I'm in a group and I listen to everybody, I don't have to be the first to talk. A lot of people want to hear from me. If they don't know me, there's something about me. They're like, "What do you think?" And then when I start talking, everybody's like, "Wow, wow, writing notes. Wait, how do you know all this? And I have a gift, right? One of my gifts is called claircognizance, which it's I have a gift of knowledge, right? I'm tapped into the Akashic records. I'm tapped into divine, straight divine source knowledge. And that may sound like, wow, that sounds so cool, but it's like the way that that came through was in many, 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 many seasons of separation and isolation. And I just, I don't know, like I've never had anybody, I've had people get triggered and want to like, I've never had somebody say, you don't know what you're talking about. That's a total lie or something, like I've just, I don't know. I mean, people can disagree, but it's usually you can tell like whatever they're writing about, it's just fear. It's just based on that I'm shining a light that makes them really uncomfortable because there's truth in it. And it's the light that I shine, it illuminates the shadow inside of you, the darkness inside of your heart and your soul. And it's a bright light, and it's really, it can make you feel very uncomfortable, especially if you're just not fully ready to do the work. And I have respect for that. I mean, if you're not ready to do the work, just carry on. Keep doing whatever it is that you enjoy to do. As long as I got two rules. Do you guys want to know if I was to have rules? Do you want to know what my rules are? I got two. Is anybody interested in what my kind of like non-negotiable rules are? I got two of them. The first one is don't be a snake, right? That means don't manipulate other people for your gain, right? Don't be a snake. The second is leave those kids alone. Leave the children a fucking alone, man. And the reason why is because that's where all the trauma is. But yet, part of the conversation today was understanding that I know a part of me is like I want to be a rescuer, right? I want to help people. I want to make a positive impact in this on this planet. But I also realized that if I was given an option, and here's a question for those of you listening. This is not the first time I've said this. If you were given the option to save 1 million children from being exposed to some kind of an abuse, you can save 1 million children from abuse, or you completely become the highest version of who you can be, full alignment, total balance, divine masculine, divine feminine. Like you are the fulfillment of what your soul was capable of doing on this planet. You become the supreme version of yourself, or you save 1 million children from abuse. What would you choose? Right? Which one of those options would you do? I can tell you guys got the right answers tonight, huh? You're like, I ain't writing that. The answer that I would choose, right? This is my prerogative. This is my perspective. Is I would choose to be the best version of myself. Here's why. If you were to prevent 1 million children, souls, let's just call them souls, because when you think children, it's emotional, man. When you're like, fuck, kids getting abused, that's fucked up. It makes me mad. That's why I told you it's something but when you think about being able to rescue 1 million children from abuse, the thing is that another area where I believe in is that just because children are little, their souls are not. Your soul is not. Our souls are timeless. And so I believe, this is my belief, I believe that the experiences that we have that impact us the most, the experiences that we have that impact us the most are actually things that we signed up for before we came into this earth. Right? That's what I believe. And I think the people that are down for that, there's a lot of understanding in that. Right? You can get beyond the suffering. You get beyond the suffering. It's like, man, it sucks. It sucks when you're stuck in suffering, the low vibrational stuff, right? Because like Craig here, it sounds like Craig is, this is it. This is all you got, man. You just, this is it. And it's like, I don't believe that. I don't believe this is it. I don't believe that there's an eternal damnation either. I don't believe in either of those. I don't think this is it, the one and only little existence. And I also don't believe that there's like this other thing that if you don't get it right, then you're gonna be punished. Our punishment, it's not even punishment. We sign up for this. We sign up for this. And what is it that we sign up for as a soul? And there's mystery to some of this. Do I have all the answers? No. And I don't think anybody should act as if they have all the answers. Right? The most religious people that think they understand it all, it's like, go travel all the world, go talk to all the different cultures, and have an open mind and open perspective, and you could probably there's mystery. There needs to be mystery to some of this shit. You know what I mean? But I think there's some things that come through to us where it's like, I definitely think our souls are eternal. I believe in reincarnation. I think I'm an old soul. I've done this earth thing many, 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 many times, even maybe too many times, that I feel like this was a special assignment this time. And yeah, I've met my path. Like I've met actual historical people that are my past lives. And when I pull up who they are, they look like me. It's weird. It's weird. And it's mysterious. But at least in terms of this particular life that we're experiencing right now, a few of the things that I believe that gives me insight and understanding to how all of this interconnects, because I'm seeing big picture. I can see on the macro. The macro is, I can see what's going on in the macro, in the micro level, right? The micro level is what's going on in my mind, in my heart, and in my soul, right? That is the micro level. The micro level isn't you're sitting there and you're wondering what's going on in someone else's mind. No. Understand your own mind, your own heart, and your own soul. Understand those things. That's the micro level. The macro level that I have a vision over is literally like, I've seen the whole world. I've seen all humanity, all living things. And yet, I believe that there's connection. And yet, where I find understanding that makes it all make sense to me is that every single human on this planet is suffering energetically in one way or another. And by energetically, you have to look up the vibrational energetic chart and understand that if you're carrying around sadness, guilt, shame, anger, grief, fear, pride, right? If you're carrying around any of those, you are suffering. Why are you suffering? Because you forgot who you are. Your identity is 100% connected, not to the Holy Spirit. It's connected to your government issued ID and who you think you are as a person, and the experiences that that person has and the perspective you have. So you suffer. It's once you start to connect with your spirit, the higher self, the soul. And so that's what's weird, landlocked Larry, is like, I've never studied any of this shit. And I don't know how long you've been on here, but here's somebody telling me, man, you're definitely explaining a Hindu foundation of beliefs. It's like, dude, I've never, like, I must have been involved in that last time. But here's the thing is, I have the gift of what's called claircognizance, where I just have a knowledge. So like everybody always tells me, oh man, did you study this and that? And I'm like, no, I've never studied any of that shit. And it makes people upset because they're like, well, how do you know all this? How do you know it? You know? And I've never had anybody tell me, dude, you don't know what you're talking about. I mean, like religious people that are living in a box will want, they just shout. They can't have a conversation, because if we have a conversation, I can go deep. I can go very deep. Right? And I could be respectful and not lose my emotions. But when you're still seeing people get emotional, right? Then there's fear. It's fear. We have uncertainty. But yeah, thanks for sharing that. I've never even studied these things. I mean, at least in this life, it sounds like I must be very masterful in, I mean, Hindu and I think it is yeah, something like that, man. I don't know. I'm just coming with what's flowing to me right now. But these are things I believe. This is some knowledge that I've been given to share, because it makes sense to me, to where it's like, from my own perspective, the human experiences I've had, I'm like, okay, I see the suffering. I saw the suffering in myself. And I said, how do I heal this suffering? I tried every magic trick you could, right? I prayed to Jesus. I got baptized 5 times, right? I've gone under hypnotherapy. I mean, I've tried it all, man. I've done it all. I've done everything that I could to just do the magic trick to heal my emotional wounds, right? And I have figured out how to do this. And I believe that this is there. I believe that there's spirit, right? Some of you will say God or universe. I believe that it is in the best interest of all humanity for us to not be on this perpetual broken cycle of trying to figure out how to heal, right? It's like, no, I believe that I'm being given the knowledge and the wisdom to be able to decode some of the mysteries to what it takes for us to heal, because I believe that that's what we need in order to transcend into the new earth, into the higher vibrational 5D reality. I believe this is happening. And when you look around, everything is chaotic right now. All the old stuff, it's so chaotic. It's so chaotic right now. Everyone that's looking for stability and all this shit, it's like it's being shaken, right? It's just earthquakes and fires and people are having mental and emotional breakdowns because it's awakening them in a very, very, like, like when Pete, like, I had to hit a rock bottom to begin my awakening process, but it's been gradual. And I think for all of us, it's a gradual process. But a lot of times it takes the jolts to really knock you on your ass and be like, man, because it's not until you get to a place, what up, Adam? It's not until you get to a place of neutrality. And by neutral, I mean everything that you believe, you have to be willing to sacrifice it in the fire of truth, of the unknown. right? And once you do that, only the things that are true will come out the refiner's fire as gold and light. But all the bullshit, all these little dumb beliefs that we've created, all these stupid traditions, all these false things that we think we believe, but we've never tested the belief because we're afraid. There's fear in testing beliefs that we hold on because we identify with the belief and it gives us a sense of comfort. But if you believe what you believe, then it should be able to be tested by fire. And when I'm talking fire, I'm talking about the fire of truth, of light. That when you shine the brightest light on that, it should be completely transparent. It should not create uncertainty, doubt, fear, anger, shame, where you're like, and it's like, as a human, you should have such a great amount of curiosity. Thank you so much for that, Severin. You're so sweet. Thank you, beautiful. You should have the ability, right? But so many of us, we don't. So many people are walking around with what it's called limiting beliefs, where you think you know what you know, and it's just been passed on to you. You either saw it somewhere or someone told you it, but you've never sat there with yourself and really examined your beliefs. You never sat there with a pen and paper and said, what do I really believe about life, death, this, that? And, happiness, joy, success, failure, all of these, they seem like such basic topics that you think you got it all figured out. But I can tell you, I used to think I had it all figured out. And once I started going through the fire of examining myself, I realized when I would write down what do I believe about love, right? I'd write down my definition and I would read that. And I'm like, is that really? That's what I think love is? I'm like, I don't like that. I don't like that. And then I'm like, is it safe? Uh-oh, can I change my beliefs? What happens if I change it? Does the world end? Is that when the world ends if I change my beliefs? How many of you think that? How many of y'all think that? It's like, uh-oh, but in many ways, your old world ends. Yeah, the old version of you with the old outdated beliefs that have held you back, guess what? Yes, that goes away. And it's the most beautiful experience you could have because in doing that, you set yourself free. You're free. You're free. And that is the most beautiful thing. I wish I had my poem. I wish I had my poem. I almost feel like I should get up to go get the poem I wrote, but I'm not going to do it right now. Maybe tomorrow I'm going to put intention to have the poem here. But it makes me think about every single day. Every single day, yeah. Adam, that song, dude. That's the anthem, bro. Shit. Oh, man. The vortex is way too good. I'm moving here at some point. I had that download today. I'm supposed to be here in Sedona. And even when I got on here, I had another confirmation. I'm not going to speak about it because when stuff like this comes through, I just know I have enough confirmation in being here that I'm going to be here at some point here in the near future. I do know that. I'm meant to be based out of here, and I'm not going to be based anywhere completely, but I know that I will be operating out of this area, supporting and facilitating transformational, soul level, emotional level healing in the lives of many, 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 many millions of people. Real healing. Even in this workshop I was in today, it was like it got people to a certain level, but I'm just there as an audience, I'm just a participant, so I'm just letting the person do what they're doing, but I'm sitting there kind of saying there's more. and I have the answer to the more I this is where I can pick up, you know. I realize that that's why I'm being put out there right now. That's why the light is being shined on me to put this message out there, because it's timely, it's needed. I've been given the understanding of how to truly help people heal, and heal once and for all, not this perpetual. It's not a destination. It's just a thing that once you embrace the healing journey, it's forever. I don't believe that no more. I thought about that for a while because a lot of people would repeat that to me. But again, I test those beliefs, and I do believe that I'm 98% cleared of all of my emotional healing, like wounding. 98 is where I can stand on right now. And that 2% still has work to do, but I do believe 100% that the powers that be, to find that power that be, it is in the best interest of the entire universe that humans on earth, that we get our shit together and that we heal. And it starts with yourself. That is what's so cool, is no one can stop you from this. All you have to do is do this. And this is what I do every day. I picture myself in an airplane every single day. And I used to, when I first started this visualization, I was always wearing the parachute pack. And it's like every single day, there comes a moment that I need to take the leap of faith today, to just take that leap, to jump out of a perfectly good airplane. And where faith comes in is knowing that 100% out of 100% of times, the parachute is going to deploy, no matter how difficult the situation is. I'm I'm writing the book. Man, you guys are gonna be blown away when this chapter that I'm in right now in Sedona, the miracles happening in my life, the protection that I'm seeing, and the big, big faith that I'm having to have right here, right now, with a smile, with peace, with joy, and with absolute certainty that I will be cared for. Thank you, user 755972. Thank you, beautiful. Appreciate that. And it's like, what would it take for you guys? Thank you. I couldn't read the whole name, but I appreciate the gifts, you guys. That's very kind, very beautiful. Wow, good job, man. That's inspiring, Adam. Heck yeah, dude. The purge. It all starts with the purge. It's all about a purge, right? Lightening your load, clearing out the past. The past. If you want something new in your future, guess what? You need to let go of your past, right? I am Stetson Black. Cool. I love the name, man. I appreciate all that love. Thank you for the gifts. And yet, jumping out of that airplane, I mean, that's what takes faith. It seems like you're cultivating a really um beautiful relationship, bro. I really can. I mean, from a distance, I feel like I'm sensing a lot of reconciliation and emotional restoration in your marriage, bro. With all the things that you're doing and leading, and just that y'all are doing that together. Um, I admire it. I admire it very much, bro. That's what I'm calling in for me too. And that's a beautiful thing that y'all are together like that. Because there's a lot of people, another shift, right? Another shift that's happening right now. And everybody knows it, but you don't understand it. See, that's the thing. Everybody knows that right now, if you're single, right? at any level. Maybe you just got divorced, breakup. You're just, if you're single or you're in the dating market. The reason why you're so frustrated and the reason why it's not working out is because of this. Is because the old model of relationships is done. Did those of you in the back catch that? The old model of relationships is over. What do I mean by that? So, falling in love, right? Getting married, starting a family, settling down, buying a house, right? Working 2 full-time jobs, going on a vacation every year or two, right? Chilling out on the weekends, not really doing nothing, cheering on other people, just vegging out. That's done. It's over. It's over. You might want some water to swallow that pill. And what's being put in its place is what I would call divine union. So the new model of connection, because love, we've manipulated love, right? Love is not, you don't fall into love. That was a distortion from the beginning. Love is not something you find, everyone. Love is who you are. You are love. What you desire is connection, and you desire harmonious connection. You desire divine aligned connection. And so the reason why the old model of relationships, that typical model, I mean, this shit died a long time ago, but we've just kept trying. It's the same thing as coming out of the pandemic. We went right back to our bad habits. We didn't grow. We didn't evolve. So guess what? Here comes another wave of cleansing, another wave of sifting and shaking and destabilizing people. It's gonna keep getting intense. You can't just fucking chill right now. If you are, it's painful. It's painful. It's time to put in the work. And so the reason why all these old relationships are being destroyed, because at the soul level, it's not the fulfillment of what our souls need. What we truly desire and what needs to happen is divine union. And so it's beautiful when there are people that are together and they're growing and evolving and awakening together. That's a beautiful thing, man. That's an anointing, bro. But for many people, the old relationship has to die in order for you to do the work and go through that wilderness experience of healing so that you can elevate yourself to the higher level and then be attracting and calling in your divine counterpart so that you actually have more than a purpose of having a job, buying a house, getting a mortgage, going on vacation once a year, or once every 2 years. That's not it no more. That reality is dying off very fast. It's already done, but people, we're so stubborn that we hold on, we try and force it, we try and cling. We don't, we just, it's like being out in the middle of the ocean and you're just like, you're just trying to like keep your head above the water when it's like, uh-oh, You're a fish now. Why are you trying to keep your head above the water? Go under and swim. It's a whole new reality. That's kind of the analogy. You're we're transitioning to where it's like you're over here trying to like tread water when it's like, wait, you're a fish now. Or the analogy is like me being in the airplane, jumping out, right? I had this visualization in the 8-day workshop I did a month ago. It was exactly a month ago. And yet that's why I'm even here in Sedona, is because I had a visualization, and then boom, like this workshop comes up and I said, I just had a visualization of waking up in this incredible mansion, like floor to ceiling, glass wall, just incredible view, wrap around deck. I'm like, I'm supposed to be in Sedona, and here I am a month later. And that goes to tell you I'm jumping out of the plane. So here's the deal. Where most of you are at when you jump out of the plane, you just need to trust, because you need to build your faith. You need to trust that the parachute's always going to deploy. It's scary to jump out. Some days it's really scary because this is faith. It's not just easy. You really got to believe in yourself. You got to believe in something greater than yourself, which is a purpose, that you actually have a reason to be alive. And it's not just cheering on your favorite team, eating your favorite food, right? Going to the job you don't like. No, there's something way greater on this planet, and we're shifting right now. And you're a part of that. If you're listening to this, you're a part of it. You should give yourself a big high five. You should give yourself a hug. I like that you guys are jumping in here. We're moving. It's happening. It's happening. I can sense people activating and getting closer to this message. But here's what happened to me. I used to jump out of the plane and pull the parachute, and it was like, oh, cool. See, it worked. It worked again. I took a leap of faith, right? I signed up for this thing, and then boom, I signed up for this other thing. I took another leap of faith, and I did it every day, to where, guess what? On one of the last days of the workshop, I'm there, and the parachute pack wasn't on my back. It was in my hands. And what I started doing is everything I no longer needed, right? We did this visualization the other day about you had to let go of some things in your pack. Well, I basically grabbed things I no longer needed and I put them in the pack, right? Everything I no longer needed, everything that was no longer serving me, I put all that stuff and I packed it in the pack, and I even packed it in the airplane. And guess what? I jumped out, free fall. Because here's what I realized, and it's in my poem, is I realized when I jumped out and I left the pack and all the fear, I realized that I could fly. And it made me cry, because I was like, I can't believe it took me so long to realize that I could fly. I didn't even need the pack. Right? That's the freedom. Fly like an eagle. And I can guarantee you, every one of you listening right now has the same ability. But you have to continue taking the leaps of faith to develop the skills and the confidence and the healing for you to fully awaken to your highest potential. It's greater than the government, bro. There's many forces. I had a dream. Maybe about 4 months ago, that I was in this dark room and I felt called to open up this closet. Right, there was like a closet door, and I opened it up, and like 1,000 fucking hands grabbed me, dude, and just pulled me into this fucking closet, and they just started pummeling me. I just started getting pummeled in this dream. Like, they pulled me in and just like fucking like sucked me in, and just just a fucking beat down. And I literally, in my sleep, in my conscientious, I'm like, oh fuck. This is it. I'm like this. I thought that was it. I'm like, oh fuck, it's it. And yet I just kept getting pummeled, and I just sat there and I got through it. I said, fuck. Yes, it's not it. Y'all gave me your best shot. I've always said, man, hard to kill. This dude is hard to kill. It's because I'm divinely protected too, though. That doesn't mean that there hasn't been a lot of opposition, man. I've had so much oppositional force, right? Blocking my abundance, blocking my blessings, blocking my breakthroughs. Here I am, and I can't wait to write this chapter, you guys. This chapter is gonna be, this is the cherry on top. This is gonna be that final chapter to the absolute transcendent breakthrough. It's gonna be incredible. It is incredible. That's the journey. It's filled with challenges. It's made me stronger along the ways. I want to give up many times. Too many times I wanted to give up. But something got me through the darkest of dark nights, right? And I'm just grateful, man. I'm grateful to be on here. I'm grateful for those of you that tune in. I'm grateful for all the new subscribers. I'm grateful for all the comments and people that are starting to really connect. Thank you, King Williamson. I appreciate that. Love here I'm in Sedona. Just grateful for all of it. Yeah, it's always tough when you have different alignments. I mean, I've lost a lot of people and I didn't realize it. There's a lot of times that one of my wounds was a bit fear of abandonment, that being on this healing journey, I would almost self-sabotage and push people away almost prematurely because I already knew that they had indicated, like I kind of knew that they weren't going to do the work. They weren't going to be able to, like, they wanted to keep me where they were and where they were most comfortable. And in the past, I would have settled for that. I would have been like, cool, yeah, you love me so much. I'll set up camp here. This is a great spot. And it's just like I can no longer do that. I can't sacrifice my purpose, my calling. I won't do that ever. And the challenging part of that is because I have old, thank you. It's in the shop. The beanie's in the shop. It's there for you. I would love to send you one of those beanies. There it is right there. Any of the merch, man. Get yourself some merch. Results kill excuses. This stuff's got energy on it, man. You start walking around town with that. Welcome. Is it Mai, or how would you pronounce your name? Mai? May? Is it May? Mai Hawaii. That's a nice name. Yeah, that's true, Landlocked Larry. I mean, you obviously have wisdom, bro. Thanks for being here. You have a lot of wisdom in what you're writing there. A lot of perspective, and that's what I know. That's what we're doing here. This is an opportunity to soul tribe up, like It's like to reform, like fucking Voltron. we need to we need to form like Voltron over here because humanity needs the warrior souls to raise up, to do the work in themselves first, and then to be bold and courageous enough to share that medicine with the world, to help lead and guide. And you know it's a powerful thing. The hardest part for me is definitely the singularity, because I don't know. I know the person coming in for me is going to be incredible. I get a little impatient though, and a little anxious, and a little, sometimes I get lonely. I can admit that because I have old codependency issues. And that's been one of the final tests that I've healed in just the past 4 months, right? 4 months, I was able to really, really scrape out, man, some residual on insecurity and codependency, and just knowing in my heart, mind, and soul that it's safe, man. It is safe to be alone. It's safe to be me. And that doesn't mean that that's my final destination, but that I'm not alone. Like we always hear that, and I used to always get a little mad about that. I know, man, we're not alone. But the cool thing is that I've been working on the exchange with all living things. And today we were doing a visualization in the breath work, and man, I felt it. I felt it today here in Sedona. Man, I felt the exchange of just all creation. I was just like so I was so blissed out. I didn't want to stop. Like the poor dude was like trying to get everybody back to teaching again. I didn't want to stop, man. I wish I could have sat in there for probably another 20 minutes, just blissed out of my mind after a breath work and some visualization. It was good stuff. That's a good question, Keith. I would say that when the where I saw the deception in religious narratives was being in the dirt, being in the midst of that. And so, because I'm somebody that I go all in, I'll tell you some, I'll tell some stories about that. So, when I hit my rock bottom, right, I went and ran to the church. I was like, oh, fuck, man, my house is on fire. I need help. And so, I did get it. I got the embrace, I got the welcome mat, and I had started to attend like a men's group in the morning, like a Bible study. And it used to be like once a week on Wednesdays. And what was interesting is that once I started going faithfully, right? Like 1 month in, 2 months in, 3 months in, the group, like the group was the same old dudes that had been doing it for years, but I was the new guy. And they said, you know what, we want to do this more. And I think a lot of it was just my, the energy I was bringing to the group. I was the younger guy, zealous, on fire. And so where I saw it was just from being in it and seeing that the average person that was committing themselves to the routine of churchianity, Bible studies, midweeks, right, Sunday services, right, faithful tithing, the average person, like there was no growth. There was no growth. And I would be somebody that I spent a lot of time with the Bible. I spent a lot of time with God. I spent a lot of time sifting and reading through the scriptures. And I would show up to these men's groups and I would be the guy asking questions. I would raise my hands and ask questions. And all the pastors and the elders, they would get so fucking uncomfortable, man. So uncomfortable with my questioning. And yet, one of the most powerful times that really showed that there was deception, or at least just not true faith, was I used to volunteer with this homeless shelter. It was a homeless ministry, and I would even take my kids, man. Everybody would freak out, right? I always had this big one. Thank you so much, Ice Wallow. Wallow, come. Thank you. And so we used to go do this homeless shelter thing. And like all the church people, they would get so weird because I was always just so involved and open hearted and wanting to serve people and help and make a difference. I would take my kids, they were probably like 4 and 6 at the time, like little guys, little ones. And everybody's like, man, you're bringing him here. I'm like, yeah, fuck yeah, we're bringing him here. What? Like, we're serving the Lord. What are you guys so scared about, man? Like, yeah, I'm bringing him here. We used to go do trash cleanups. I used to go take veterans because I ran a veterans resource center, nationally award winning, documented through Military Times. And I used to inspire veterans, like, let's go serve, let's go pick up trash. Well, man, I remember one time we were picking up trash, and my son, he was probably only like 4 years old. He was the first one to find a dirty heroin needle. Hey, Dad, what's this? And I was like, oh shit. I grabbed a beer bottle. I said, like, I didn't like, some parents like freak out. Hey, what are you doing with that? Like they create trauma in their kids. I was just like, oh shit, dude, like hold that tight, bro. Hold it tight. And I got a bottle and I said, fuck, we got to be careful. We found like 20 that day. It was fucking messy. But I'd always do that shit and involve my children in it too. But I remember one time I was always frustrated because we'd go feed the homeless, and yet none of the homeless ever responded, meaning they never went to church, right? Like, and so I would always be a little questioning. I was like, man, how come it's so weird, right? We've been coming here for like 2 years at the time, every month, feeding them good meals and connecting with them and the homeless people. And I was just like, man, I'm so surprised that nobody ever like actually comes out to church, right? They're just taking what we have and they don't want to respond to it. And so one time we were there and this fucking guy was there and he happened to be an army veteran. And there was something about him, man. It was energy probably. And I ended up talking to him and I just felt like, hey, like we really kicked it off. There was a connection. We were talking about a lot of things in common. And I said, hey man, you should come to church. We used to serve on a Saturday. I invited him to church, just the normal service on Sunday. And this is when some of those deceptions started to get revealed. Is I remember the service was almost over and this guy comes in and dude, he's like full blown homeless guy. And everyone's all like, oh, like, it's just like fuck it. I don't even know, man. It was like, how could I even explain it? Like someone walking in. It was like something so repulsive just walked in. Like you could tell the elders were all freaked out. They were all being like, oh no, sit in the back. And I like when I saw him walk in, I was like, oh wow, that dude actually showed up here. That's crazy. And so I went after the service. I talked to him, and he's like, "Yeah, man, sorry I'm late. I had to walk from the homeless shelter, which is across town." I'm like, "Dude, no worries, bro. That's cool." I'm like, "If you're not doing anything tomorrow," I invited him to the men's morning group. Well, fucking fast forward to the next morning. We're there at 6:30, and we're doing our little thing. We're praying and arguing about Bible verses, you know. And it's like an hour in, you hear the door close, and everyone looks up, and there's the guy again, right? This homeless guy. His name was Josh. He walks in, and everyone's all like, "What the hell, man? What are you doing here?" And again, same thing. It was like 6 in the morning in the winter, and the guy's like fucking freezing his ass off. And he had just walked from the homeless shelter at like 4 in the morning, 2 hours to get to the fucking place. And all these dudes were like all uneasy. They were like, what? And yet he came in and settled in. And where the story continues is I hung back with him. And at this time, this was when I had just hit my rock bottom and I had walked away from my job and I was trying to figure myself out at the beginning of my 13-year journey. So I was like kind of unemployed and just scraping by, trying to figure out my fucking which way was up in my own life. I was separated from my wife at the time. We hadn't gotten divorced, but we were separated. And so I just started connecting with this guy, and he's a homeless dude, and he said, "Hey, bro, can I ask you a favor?" And I said, "Yeah." He's like, "Could you give me a ride to the Habitat for Humanity? I want to go help build some homes." And I'm like, "What, dude? You're homeless, bro, and you want to go build fucking homes? What the heck, dude? What? Who are you, bro? This don't make sense. You're walking here." I'm like, "Yeah, dude. Of course I'll give you a ride. That's crazy." But I said, "But first, I need to go to my house and feed my dogs." And so I take him over there, and he hadn't eaten, so I fed him, and this was like probably at 9 o'clock in the morning. Me and that dude landed up just talking literally till 6 o'clock the next day when the Bible study, because we had gone from 1 day a week when I first started going to 2 days to 4 days a week. And yet here was this guy, and we just like, I don't know, we just couldn't stop talking about spiritualism. And he had some really deep, far out shit. And that's what was so fascinating about me. He was reading the Bible in a whole nother fucking dimension. And he was very like, I don't know, I just never seen someone just love the scriptures the way he did and see the scripture in the way he did. And I landed up saying, "Hey, bro, you're homeless, dude. I'm over here by myself. Me and my wife are separated right now, as I just saw 111s popping up." And I said, "Dude, you can stay here, man, for like a month or whatever you need, bro. Like, you can stay here. Even if I leave and you take my stuff, I don't care, bro. Like, you can stay here." And again, that's in the scripture, right? There's a beautiful verse. It's like Matthew 25, where there's like this separating from the sheeps and the goats. And God looks down at the sheep, and he says, "Good and faithful servants. When I was hungry, you gave me something to eat. When I was thirsty, you gave me something to drink. When I was sick and in the hospital, you came and visited me. When I was a stranger, you invited me in. Good and faithful servant, welcome, to your inheritance, the kingdom of heaven." And then he looks to the goats and he says, you wicked servants. I was hungry. You gave me nothing to eat. I was thirsty. You gave me nothing to drink. I was sick. You never came and visited me. I was a stranger in need, and you did not invite me in. You wicked, you know, servants, away from me. And that verse stuck with me because when the leadership of the church found out that I had invited a homeless guy into my house, you guys have no idea, man, how fucking freaked out these people were. They were like, "Dude, this is a liability. You can't be doing that, man. Like, why would you do that? What if he unalives you in the middle of the night? Or what if the worst case scenario?" I mean, just fear. "Oh no, you can't do that." I'm like, "You guys are the fucking leaders of this place. Have you not read? Have you not read in there where it says, dude, like, they're a stranger, invite them in? Where's your faith?" I'm like, even if the guy takes me out, where do I land up? Do I go to heaven? Or what happens if I walk in faith and let someone in that's a stranger? I've tested his spirit. You all are pretending. You're pretending. It's all for show. It's all for looks. It's all for external validation. You're just checking boxes. And the truth is that if I was to go back to that same place this tomorrow morning, the same people with the same problems doing the same things, telling you that they could solve your problems with one name. And that's where, for me, man, I started to see the holes. I'm like, these people aren't living it. This is not it. This is rules of man. This is fear. This is not faith. And ultimately, here's what happened is, I remember one time I ran for political office. I ran for city council twice here I'm in northern New Mexico in Santa Fe. And part of my election, I was really into the Christian environment, is I said, I'm going to go visit all the churches, right? All the churches in this community. Again, I created another uproar. You can't do that. You're in our church. You're not supposed to go to those churches. I'm like, what the fuck, dude? I don't understand this, man. What do you mean I can't go to those churches? It's like betrayal, dude, betrayal. You're supposed to be loyal, dude. Like if it's a team, like teams, bro, like it's supposed to be our team. You can't go to their team. I'm like, this is the dumbest shit I've ever heard, bro. I'm like, even in the Bible, it was like the one church of the whole town, not 100 in a small town for all of you guys that have self-proclaimed that you're men of God, right? You printed your degree online. And so I'm always somebody, there's a population in the Bible they talk about as the Bereans, right? They would trust but verify. They were always saying, you know what, I'll hear what you have to say, but I will examine it for myself and I will test it. And so I've had so many miraculous signs. I remember one time I was at this other church and this pastor was trying to groom me to take over because he just wanted to retire from being a pastor. Like, I'm like, I didn't even know you could do that, man. You get to retire. You just want to quit. So he was trying to put me in that spot. And I was like, I can remember God told me, walk away. He's like, you don't need to worry about this anymore. Quit trying to memorize all the word and all the addresses and do the Bible, scripture battles. He's like, just go be it. Just go be love. And I'm telling all of you, you want to be super religious? Be love. That's it. Just be love, right? You don't need any religion. There's no rules. You can make it up as you go. Just be love. And the thing that you need to be loving to the most is yourself, right? Because if you love yourself unconditionally, especially that little that inner child needs all of your love. It's sitting there so sad, so lonely. It needs your love. Once you do that, the love you give to yourself will be the love you give to others. It'll be coming from a true and authentic place, not just for show, not out of scarcity, not out of neediness or thirsty, right? It'll be so beautiful. And so that's just like part of the story, right? Yeah, the spiritual warrior, man. Yeah. I have a lot of stories like that. A lot of stories because, I've always been even in past lives, my head was chopped off, I've been hung, right, choked, and it's always because the voice inside of me is a voice of truth, and the truth is a threat. It's a threat to those that subconsciously or conscientiously seek to deceive and manipulate, and that's what I call. Yeah, I've gone through such a massive throat chakra clearing in the past 4 months. It's been so beautiful. The breath work is what activated my healing in the throat chakra. It was so awesome, man. Yeah. No, Bob Marley, he tapped into that too. He had a lot of that knowledge. The thing is, he used that medicine. He used the ganja so much, man. I don't know. For me, I don't need it. I don't need any of that shit. I don't need nothing. All I need is just to live that clean and clear life, take those leaps of faith. And I feel like the whole chemical factor, just being here in this environment, man, I felt like I was drunk and high the other yesterday. I was just so blissed out, but it was just another level of it. I felt like I got to feel the joy that I've been really seeking inside, to really just be like, man, I'm happy. I'm like, it feels so good. I'm so happy right now. I'm so happy. Natural high. It just felt beautiful. It felt beautiful to just feel just naturally high. I was just like, and it's something that a lot of like another limiting belief that I hear a lot is that people will tell me or you've said it, or we all have said it. You can't be happy all the time. It's just, that's not realistic. It's things like that, right? It's like you can't always be that. I got off the weed. I gave up weed December 1st, 20. I want to say 22. So I'm going on 3 years. I was off of it for 9 years. So I went cold turkey on THC and alcohol simultaneously, right? And I've maintained the alcohol sobriety, so 13 years there. But I had a relapse on THC after 9 years, and then I got I got kind of caught up in the smoke for about a year and a half, 2 years, and then I was just numbing pain, right? I was just numbing a heartbreak and pain, and again, I needed to heal, man. I needed to heal. How's the beard gray, but the hair isn't? I don't know, man. I just got wisdom. It's just wisdom. They say the gray beard is wisdom, right? It's wisdom. That's the shaman. A lot of people freak out. They're like, man, how do you have all that hair, but gray beard? Everybody gets tripped out on the hair. There's a lot of power in hair. I've never had my hair this long. I like it though. I like it. There's been a lot of people, you need a haircut, man. Like, maybe you're right, man. Maybe you're right. A trim. I always filter anything as to, does it make me better? Does it make me better? Like working out makes me better. Eating healthy makes me better. Using THC doesn't make me better. I'm way dull. I'm way more like, it taps into a little more creativity. You use some sativas. I know it all. I used to have the medical card, the sativas, the indicas. I used to use the indicas, the kush to fucking sledgehammer, crash out, hardcore, just knock my ass out at the end of the night. And I used to use the sativa to get me going all day, and thinking, oh man, I feel like my thoughts are more organized and streamed. But again, you become reliant. You become reliant on that stuff, and eventually it doesn't deliver the results. And so the best way to clear your mind is to journal, to write shit down, right? To get clear, to clear all the chemicals so that your train of thought can be very focused and intentional. You're only going to put energy and focus towards things that matter to you, that are going to advance the things you're working towards in life. So, yeah, but I don't do anything other. That's it. I mean, those are the only two. So, for me, I just don't need any of that. And I love to eat healthy. I'll enjoy some other foods. I ate a burger today, right? I'm mostly vegan, but I had a burger today. It was good. It was a Wagyu burger. It was delish, man. It was really good. But, not too often, because at the end of the day, it's like I've also developed a lot more discipline, and it's because I know my why, right? My why is ver- better than having a bunch of yummy food that's going to fucking add weight and make me feel like shit, but taste so yummy, right? I would much rather be active. I'm 46 years young now. I would rather be climbing mountains and man, I went on a beautiful hike today, this Bell Mountain. I mean, I would rather be doing that into my 70s than saying food is pleasure. I need to have all the best yummy food all the time. It's like, no, I don't. I eat in a box. Like I am very strict with meal prep, and I make adjustments to my nutrition regimen on a regular basis to stay dialed in. I weigh myself every day. If you don't weigh yourself every day, right? It may partly be because you don't want to see that truth bomb. But the other thing is if you did weigh yourself every day, you would have some honest feedback about where you're standing, and that may help to incentivize you to make some better decisions when you can see how your weight fluctuates, right? Week in, week out, you know? Yeah, of course, man. Yeah, don't judge another man, right? There's a difference between judging another man and calling motherfuckers out to say, get your shit together instead of hiding behind Jesus. Get your shit together, Jonathan. Don't hide behind Jesus, bro. Jesus is way out in the front, leading the pack, and hiding behind Jesus because you have a thin insecurity about. Don't judge, bro. No one's perfect. It's like it ain't about being perfect, but be fucking accountable and get your shit together. Have some discipline over your nutrition. Have some freaking integrity about working out, being a real example. And that's the problem, man. When you get stuck in the religious box, y'all are drinking milk and cookies. There's no meat. There's no meat. Everybody's little lammies. Meh, meh. And it's like you got to be a fucking lion, right? You got to be a lion, man. And y'all get caught up in the milk, and you're bloated with milk. Jesus loves you too, but Jesus isn't going to come and clean your shit. Jesus isn't a maid. Everybody that says Jesus loves you, bro, well, he loves you too. I love you, bro. I love you. Malik, I love you more than you love yourself. And that's facts. Guaranteed. You don't love yourself. Because if I wish that I wish that I could tap into your life right now, see you in your space, measure you up, examine you, and know your habits, follow you around. You do not love yourself, bro. But Jesus loves you. And that's where the religion is bullshit if you don't live the life. It's a bullshit life if you're not living the life of truth, of truth. You have to be living it. This is a sacred vessel, right? If you're a Christian and you are rooting for professional athletes, like that, Jesus didn't say, "Hey, go be a fanatic for other men." But most of y'all are into that. Oh, but man, I get to do it and no one's perfect and da 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 da. It's like that's the problem. It's the problem. Y'all use it as a crutch. You basically say, I got my salvation. All my sins are wiped clear. Every time I fuck up, which is every day, Jesus will take care of it. Jesus will take care of it. And he's like, motherfuckers, you take care of it. I'm not your maid. Clean your mess. Get your shit together. Quit fucking putting me back on the cross every day because you can't fucking get your shit together. That's the problem right now. That's the realest talk. And I know that shit hurts. Make a t-shirt. What should it say, Finley? I love making t-shirts. Tell me, man, what should the shirt say? The Gregisms are coming fucking hard tonight. Thank you, Kevin. I mean, I'm not trying to be harsh, man. It's just I was a part of that game and I called it out, man. I called it out because I didn't see growth. I didn't see motherfuckers changing. I'm like, y'all are showing up here. I'm showing up here. You're bullshitting me. I'm bullshitting you. You're bullshitting yourself. I'm bullshitting myself. And ain't nobody here actually changing. We're just drinking the milk here and acting as if, meh, 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 we're just little sheepies. And it's like, that's a fucking weak men mentality. You gotta be a motherfucking lion, right? You gotta have, right? Be gentle as a dove, but be as shrewd as a serpent, right? Instead of just a little sheepies. Like you see men, like Christian men are the biggest beta motherfuckers on planet Earth. Like, oh, my better half. When if you've ever heard a Christian man kowtow to his woman, it is the most unsexy thing ever, the most unmasculine thing ever. And that is not the example of fucking leadership. Oh, sure, honey, my better half. I better go ask my boss. It's like, fuck, man. Lead, lead. Be a freaking role model. Be an example, not an excuse. And the excuse you use is Jesus. Jesus loves you, bro. Jesus. Right? I'm just, I got respect for people, but I just it doesn't serve them well when you get caught up in that. And so it's taken me a long time. This is part of honestly, you guys, this is a part of the throat chakra healing. When I healed the throat chakra, I said, you know what, I can speak my truth. I used to like be kind of like a little tippy toey around this particular subject matter, but not anymore. I'm good. I'm just gonna speak my fucking truth. And if you don't like it, like I'll mute you. Right? Those of you that need to hear this, that get it, it's like good to go. Like it's good to go, man. Like if you really want to heal, I'm telling you, I got baptized at least 5 times, man. Once in the fucking Pacific Ocean, big, huge 10-foot waves, and that still didn't do it. It's like it didn't do it. I prayed Jesus into my heart probably 1,000 times. I asked for forgiveness more than that. And it's like, that was all fine and dandy, just following the rules and things that guys tell you to do. But it's like, I needed real results. I wanted to trust myself. I wanted to truly love myself and not quit and not be playing a double life of like hiding and being it's the law of attraction. When you go to a men's um like Bible thing, what do you think most of those guys are talking about? Pornography, drinking, lust. I mean, all of this stuff. Well, why are they thinking about that? Is because that's all they're thinking about. They're so overwhelmed by all the sin. It's like, dude, set yourself free, bro. Find something greater to focus on, dude. Go put in real work. This is not giving you any growth. Yeah, you don't want an other half. You don't want a half of anybody. You want two full, whole, and healed people showing up. A healthy, secure relationship is two healthy, whole, and complete people showing up. There used to be like a commercial. I think it was like Viagra or something. But you had these two older couples in like a forest, and they were in these claw foot tubs, right? The guy was in one tub and the woman was in the other, right? And in between, they were holding hands in the middle, right? That is like a healthy relationship. You got your container, she's got hers, and in the middle, you guys creates another container, right? That's a healthy relationship. Not my better half. It's like, dude, there's no halves, man. 30 years is a lot. I went 21, bro. Yeah, I did 21. Yeah, I mean, you can't ask questions like that, Keith. You can't ask. I mean, they just, it's got to be very, it's got to, it's got to be the most basic interpretation, man. You can't even get into the mysteries of it. And it is an ancient text, so there are mysteries to it, but it's been fucked around with too. All right, Landlocked Larry. I'll check that out probably Monday. That sounds cool. Thanks for that recommendation. I need to check that out. I'll check it out. Thanks for that recommendation. Oh man, another great conversation here. Um, I'm gonna get back on here tomorrow. I'll be in Sedona one more night. The workshop ends tomorrow. I'm gonna make efforts tomorrow to we'll do some breath work or visualization or both tomorrow. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm pretty spent right now. I need to crash out. But I'm fired up. Yeah. You guys are coming with the heat tonight, and that's what I like. We are starting to really, the more that I step into the truth, that I speak my truth, continue to be authentic and real, um, that's attracting in the right people, right? The people that are ready for this. And that's what's most important. We all need to really step into that truth, the truth that's within us. We all have it in us. I will. I will find many Easter eggs. The golden egg. The golden. All right, you guys. I wish you all the best tonight. I hope that you have a wonderful day of life tomorrow. Just a quick note, a week from tomorrow, we're starting the first Breath of Life Healing Circle. I welcome you all to join the group. We're going to be meeting 3 times a month. It's going to be a really incredible opportunity for you to really do some reflecting, some visualizing, some breathing, but ultimately it's really about healing. It's about this process of healing, really getting some results, creating your own results, manifesting and clearing the energy that you have trapped inside of you that is really trauma, right? Allowing that to really release. And so I do want to invite all of you to join the group. You can go to resultskillexcuses.com and click on the Breath of Life Healing Circle to register. And I hope to see you guys there. It's 1 week. The other thing is if you haven't jumped on the 1% Better Everyday Journal, it's on sale till May 1st. And so the link is in the comments down below. And I would love for you to also join in that, really holding yourself accountable. That if you can't hold yourself accountable, guess what? No one can. Nobody can hold you accountable if you can't hold yourself accountable. And that's real authenticity, is when no one's looking, that's that integrity check. When no one's looking, who do you show up as? And I think most people, we're still half-assing it. We're still trying to cut corners. We're still trying to fake the funk a little bit. And over here, if I do any of those things, you'll know about it. Because I don't hide that shit, because it's not about being perfect. It's about excellence. It's about being present. It's about making the efforts. It's about holding yourself accountable, being transparent, being clear. It's not about perfection, right? The only thing that I ever recall, last shot at the Holy Scripture, is the only thing I remember being perfect about everything I read in the Bible is, man, there were some perfectly fucked up people in there. Some of the stories are crazy, man. The stories that people went through. I always said, I'll leave you with this. There's two things that, if you can find this, let me know, right? Here's what's not in the Bible: trauma. The word trauma does not exist in the Bible. There are if you read it though, there are many traumatic events in the Bible, but the word trauma is not there. And there is also not a process for how to heal it. There's no system of saying, here's how you heal the trauma. It's like, kind of the magic trick stuff. And I used to ask a lot of biblical scholars this, and they get stumped. A lot of pastors, they get stumped. They want to stick to their pocket sermons, and that's cool, man. Keep doing it. Enjoy that. We will see you guys on the next one. Thank you so much for tuning in. You know the drill. Results kill excuses, because if it was easy, it wouldn't be worth it. Greg's out.